All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's main topic is Verge coin being hacked once again, leading to a very, very low price. And some Steam dollars. And then another one from Butch Rants. Down on the bottom, donated 0.08 Litecoin. So thank you guys for those donations. I always like to shout out my donators, and they're always in the About Me section of my YouTube channel, and will forever be there until hackers. So if you guys don't remember, I had previously mentioned not this particular article, but a hack on Verge coin where they essentially exploited the mining of Verge by changing the timestamp of their miners, and they were able to mine essentially millions of tokens. So it was like thousands per minute or something like that. It was pretty ridiculous. And it happened again after they fixed it. So so a hacker used a modified version of the previous attack vector. So according to Bitcoin user OC Miner, the attack used a modified version of the last month's attack vector to spoof the blockchain. So instead of one algorithm, the hacker used two algorithms to fork the main Verge chain, claiming all the block rewards and earning millions of Verge tokens in the process. So this time it was sort of a fork hack, if you will. So OC Miner pointed out the exploit when it was used by hackers last month. So as seen in the image above, both the script and Litecoin algorithms were set to the same infinitesimal difficulty level. Each one was used interchangeably to manipulate transaction block timestamp. Reddit user, the attack appears to be over. So it seems the attack is over. 35 million Verge were generated in a few hours, but this also means that there is still no fix, and this is possible at any time again. Meanwhile, the only official info out there is that mining pools are DDoSed. So that's the official info. So again, the developers of Verge are incompetent at best. And so Verge appears to have no answers to its 51% hacking problem. So Verge is a little unique in that they use lots of algorithms. So essentially you'll mine a block on script, and then you'll mine a block on Litecoin, and then you'll mine a block firmly on the heels of the previous attack. The question remains, is Verge secure? No, it's not. When OC Miner alerted the crypto community to last month's hack, the Verge development writing this article, the only response from Verge is a tweet saying that some of our mining pools are under DDoS attack. That's just the go-to source for developers and website holders and things like that. For when they're being attacked, they're just or they're being hacked or whatever. They're just like, yeah, it's a DDoS attack. They say that all the time, and then it turns out, like 2 or 3 days later, they're like, yeah, no, we're totally hacked, and you lost everything. Just like NiceHash, they were like, yeah, we're under a DDoS attack, and then 24 hours later, they're like, we were hacked, everything's gone, we're sorry. So they can't just be straightforward with it. So the prevailing narrative at the moment is that Verge didn't solve the problem with its network. The fact that hackers they have no idea how to fix it. They're completely incompetent. They partnered with MindGeek and Pornhub, and they thought, everybody thought, and probably the Verge developers thought, oh, our price is going to go through the roof. Because but here's the thing, why would anybody go out of their way to buy Verge, which would raise the price, so that they can get Verge, so that they can get a Pornhub subscription, instead of just using their debit card? And who even uses a subscription to that sort of thing anyway? It's free. It's been free for a long time. All you gotta do is Google it. I'm not sure, you don't need a master's degree in economics to understand why the price of something goes up and down, supply and demand. There's no demand to physically go way out of your way to learn Verge, to learn about a wallet, to get all this stuff together, to buy Verge, to send it to Pornhub, to get a subscription. No way anybody's doing that. No way. So meanwhile, the price of Verge continues to go down, way down. So now we're way under 5 dramatically. So I think it was a little bit before this. Maybe if we go back to the 3-month, I can't remember exactly where it was at. And I think it might have been around here. I'm not sure, but either way, it's Bitcoin Pizza Day. If you don't know what that is, May 22nd marks 8 years since a Bitcoin user paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas worth just $41 at the time. So Bitcoin users around the world are celebrating the 8th so-called Bitcoin Pizza Day. So with Bitcoin prices circling $8,200, the price of one of the legendary pizzas purchased on this day is now $41.4 million. So traditionally accompanied by various social media events, giveaways from cryptocurrency businessmen, and considerable amount of pizza eating, Bitcoin Pizza Day remembers May 22nd, the first time a Bitcoin user purchased pizza with the cryptocurrency. So on that date, Bitcoin traded at around less than a penny, making the two pizzas Laszlo Hanyaz ordered from Papa John's for 10,000. John's is a terrible, terrible pizza. It's just a big pile of grease that just, oh God, Papa John's is gross. So I'll pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple pizzas, like maybe 2 large ones, so I have some left over for the next day. I like having leftover pizza to nibble on later. Well, who doesn't? Wrote in Bitcoin Talk in 2010, attempting to find support for the transaction. The famous post continues, you can make pizza yourself and bring it to my house and order it from me from a delivery place. But what I'm aiming for is getting food delivered in exchange for Bitcoins where I don't have to order or prepare it myself, kind of like ordering a breakfast platter at a hotel or something. They just bring you something to eat and you're happy. It seems like this guy's like trying to figure out like how he can get pizza delivered. You know, pizza's been delivered for a really long time now. It's like he's like really excited to get pizza delivered to him, and that though 10,000 Bitcoin when the price was less than a penny for $41, and now it's worth 82 million. Whoops. Uh-oh. So I'm sure that's what everybody's thinking is whoops, uh-oh, after they spent their Bitcoin or they sold it. They're like, oh man, I sold it at $16. I made a lot of money. And turns out, you know, it's worth a lot more later. So 4 reasons for Bitcoin's price volatility. So economy 101. I don't know why I read that wrong. Supply and demand. The concept of supply and demand is one of the basic laws of economics. In a nutshell, the rarer something is and the more demand it is, the higher the price will be. Bitcoin's protocol to have an impact on price, obviously. So speculation, there is where the media comes into picture. It doesn't mean that the media is to blame for the volatility of Bitcoin's price, but it's the main medium through which information is shared. So opinions, especially the behavior of investors, have a serious impact on the price of the virtual asset, but this isn't an isolated manner. Investors' opinions have always had an impact on virtually any publicly traded asset. So in other words, when a popular investor shares positive sentiment about Bitcoin or any other virtual currency and the news reaches the masses, it's possible that the price is going to appreciate. And on the other hand, when a world-renowned name such as Warren Buffett says that Bitcoin is like rat poison, might be the opposite. I don't know if you put that into fact. That's kind of like one of these moves. While it's been around for almost a decade, Bitcoin came to fame in 2017 due to its massive price spike. In other words, in the eyes of a regular person, this is a relatively new field. So there's nothing that a new market needs more than clear, concise, empowering regulations which provide potential investors with some security and a framework they can understand. So how regulations handled can impact the price of Bitcoin. When earlier this year, China announced that it was banning ICOs, the price of Bitcoin dropped by 5%, while Ethereum, which is the second largest currency, dropped by more than 12%. So this is a clear example of that a straightforward regulatory move can the Bitcoin community as a whole make certain decisions on how its underlying blockchain-based technology is to work. So serious attempts to change the native rules of Bitcoin might result in an alteration, which is referred to as a fork. It might cause some massive changes in the way and the entire blockchain functions. Major fork for Bitcoin was the SegWit. Suggested that the block size of the network should be increased from 2 to 4 megabytes by 2018. Its main intention was to speed up transactions, yet amidst community-driven uncertainty of whether this developer-backed proposal would pass back now. So it's obvious there are a lot of factors that affect the price of Bitcoin. And, you know, I make a video once in a while the price is going up and why the price is going down, and articles on why all this collectively is adding up to a depreciated price of Bitcoin. So Mainnet Fever, which are the hottest projects? New tokens. Token holders will have voting rights and elect super delegates to secure the network. And what has to be done ahead of time? Send tokens, Tron tokens to exchanges, which will take care of the balances withdraw to the new Tron wallet. So a lot of these coins here are, if not all of them, are ERC20 tokens, and so when they switch to their own main value that needs to be done, you might lose your coins, or they might get locked in that wallet. They might not be able to be moved because they're no longer on that network. So you got to watch out for that. So EOS, the release of EOSIO, how do you even say that with just EOS? Because I know it's EOS, but everybody always pronounces it EOS, like the developers, so whatever. So it may not launch. A vote for block producers will follow soon afterwards, and that's going to be June 2nd. So what will change? EOS tokens will have voting rights as the development of distributed apps is expected. So register EOS balances on the official site, or you send those ERC20 tokens to Binance or another exchange that would credit the new balances. So what's going to happen is that again, these aren't going to be ERC20 tokens anymore. If you don't know what an ERC20 token, in a nutshell, it rides on the Ethereum network, and you can put ERC20 tokens inside of an Ethereum wallet. And for example, Binance, I actually have EOS on Binance. You won't have to register EOS on the website, on their official website, in order to be credited those new coins on their own network. Whereas if you just send them to Binance, you don't have to do anything. Binance will supposedly fix it for you and just credit you the new EOS, so nothing will look different to you. But they will do the work in the back. And you know what? You don't do it, then they're going to run into some trouble. So they kind of have to. VeChain on the 30th. So VeChain walked a long path to achieving a double token reward model. The tokens for various types of nodes, including starter nodes, were locked down. VeChain holders will see their assets multiply, receiving 100 new assets for each VeChain old token. So this is for the purposes of a more intuitive accounting. What has to be done? A snapshot of the Ethereum network was already performed. All that is needed is to wait for smaller balances. Exchanges would credit the new asset. So Ontology, the details are unknown. Recently, Ontology launched a code pre-release of its main network. So far, no details have been given on how the balances will be credited. So what is known is that the current Ontology holders will double their balance when the mainnet launch finally arrives. There are also smaller projects launching soon. So the Ontology that you once held, which is great, right? You might think to yourself, oh, I'm going to double my money. That's just not going to be the case. So if everybody receives double of their Ontology, that means that essentially Ontology is going to double itself, and then the price is going to be halved. So don't think that that's going to make you a lot of money. I mean, I hope it does. Like if you are an Ontology holder or a VeChain holder, like I hope it does. Like good for you. But giving everybody that many, people are just going to sell them immediately, and it's just going to make the price essentially whatever they multiply it by, divided by what question mark? What did I even just say? It'll just essentially lower the price because there's going to be more of them. So that's not the greatest thing I've ever heard. True US dollar Tuesday, I like to say that, officially launches on Binance with increased supply. So True US dollar kept its dollar peg, only rising slightly to $1.02. So it didn't keep its dollar peg if it rose to $1.02 at the launch. So this is supposed to be a competitor to Tether, because Tether bobs around a little bit too much. So at the launch of official Binance trading, at one point, also there was a lot of controversy behind Tether too, but we're not going to really get into that right now because I've already made videos on that, and there's probably already 1,000 of them out there. So the asset spiked to $1.10. I guess that's really pegged to the US dollar, isn't it? But quickly corrected its position. At this time, the spike was much lower. While a few days ago, the price of TUS at the launch of Binance Trading, the asset also saw its supply increase to more than 18 million tokens, a significant growth in the past month, given that TUS launched around 4 million tokens. So because of its pairing, TUS, oh man, I just love it. I can't help it at this point. I'm sorry, guys. Will not inject liquidity into many altcoin markets the way that US dollar, Tether. Oh man, that's not fun. That's not a fun one. That's not a fun one. It does now. So TUSD will be instead a cents. So during market downturns, various tokens are sometimes used to store value. If Bitcoin price starts sinking, it is possible that TUSD serves that function. Dollar pairing, right? So everything that you're buying is in Satoshis, essentially. So, if you have, a Bitcoin and you want to buy, because they're like, okay, so Satoshis, and then they got to do the math. Like, okay, so this is $4.38 a token. But they do show the dollar amount of them. So I do like Binance in that way, that they still show that US dollar value. It does help me out a little bit because I hate doing Satoshis. I'm like, 4,000 Satoshis, like what even is that? Like 4,021 Satoshis, one Bitcoin goes to 10,000, you sell it, you get 10,000 Tether. And then when the price of coins dips, let's say Bitcoin goes all the way back down to 8,000, and, so that means that all altcoins follow for the most part. So everything is starting to go down. It's a down market now. Everything's down like 20%. But you still have $10,000 worth of Tether. So now you can take that $10,000 worth of Tether and buy Bitcoin again, buy one Bitcoin, and now you have like 1.2 Bitcoin. So Tether keep moving on. Vitalik Buterin, reportedly pursued by Google, asked followers for opinion in a deleted poll. So now, this only Buterin is probably already worth an egregious amount of money, probably millions. He probably has a ton of Ethereum and many ways to explain. Tell me, hey, I sent you this, and I'll add you to the About Me section, and I'll add you to the top donators and such. Another thing is I will most likely, I've already announced it, but I will most likely be at E3 in Los Angeles, June 12th. I don't know if I'm going to be there all 3 days or not. And you happen to see me wandering around, just be like, hey, MrSotko, I know you. And I'll be like, hey, I'm super apologize, I don't know you, but thank you. And you can come talk to me. I don't mind. As long as I'm not busy. Like, if I'm, like in a meeting or something like that and you bother me, I might be like, hey, like, I'm, a little busy. Maybe I'll talk to you in a few minutes. I promise I won't be rude. I'm a real person. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.